award-winning reporter in Philadelphia was fired after a Facebook post that some say was racist, but she says she isn't getting a fair shake. Wendy Bell was posting in response to a mass shooting. In part, her post said, quote, you needn't be a criminal profiler to draw a mental sketch of the killers who broke so many hearts 2 weeks ago Wednesday. They are young black men, likely in their teens or early 20s. They have multiple siblings from multiple fathers, and their mothers work multiple jobs. Now, later in the post, she talked about black people who are in the workforce that she praised for working hard and making a living. All right, that's our topic this half hour, and we want to hear from you on Facebook and on Twitter. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Joining us live in the newsroom is Fox 26 senior legal analyst Chris Turtico, Democratic media consultant Mustafa Tamiz, and Republican strategist and public policy analyst Jackie Bally. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
All right, I got to hear your thoughts on this one.
You know, there's a fine line here. The First Amendment protects our right to speak our mind openly and freely, but when you're a journalist, you have a different duty and a different obligation to inform the public on matters of concern, but you forfeit, if you will, some of those First Amendment freedoms as, and I can't say it any better than Allie Cologne did, a professor at Washington and Lee University. Miss Bell crossed the line when she stated opinion as fact regarding an ongoing news story. Those who write and report the news have a special responsibility to serve their audience in a way that helps them see what is true, what is accurate, and also very important and authentic. And by stating her opinion, as a matter of fact, she confused that audience, Jackie Bally, and I think that's what got her fired, along with the fact that what she said was very caustic.
Well, she did say something that's very factual. We do have a problem with African-American young men killing each other. They are 13% of the population, but half of crimes that are committed by young African-American men. So that part is factual. When she went on to state about the multiple daddies and all of that other stuff, that was just her opinion. And when someone looks at a journalist, they're actually looking at you for the facts. So she should have just stopped at the fact that there is an epidemic going on in the African-American community. I've been saying it for quite a bit on this show, and that's something that I think we really need to focus on.
But it doesn't take multiple fathers for a young black man to kill another young black man.
Well, that's
the race part.
That's why I made the point.
Right.
I mean, she should have stopped at this is a problem in the African-American community, and then bringing up the multiple daddy part. I mean,
what about this? I mean, she did this on her personal Facebook page. This was not on the air. And she's saying, no, wait a minute, I was just pointing out on my Facebook page something that people ought to be thinking about.
Well, I think the interesting part is that, again, you see someone else in the public space use politically incorrect as a way of saying, I can say racist things and I don't want any consequences of those. And if I said those things, I said them because I'm some kind of a hero or a truth teller, when in reality they offend many people. And so if you're a journalist in Philadelphia and you want to speak that way and you want to think that way and you want to share your thoughts in a public way, then you should also face the consequences, and I think the station did the right thing.
One of the other things that really set this thing on fire, she then went on to write, after this started, she went on to write about a young African-American man working at a Southside restaurant. She called the young man over and called the manager over and said, I wonder how long it's been since someone told that young man that he was special. He was a busboy at this restaurant, and took the time and wrote about this, and that set the whole thing off again.
Well, did she say it because he's African-American or because he's a busboy? Because when I go to, as you know, I live in restaurants, I don't cook. So when I go to restaurants, I'm always very polite to the waiters and the people busing, and they always tell me, thank you for treating me like a person.
But her point was, this is a young African-American man who's working.
I think our biggest problem is we're ignoring the fact that there is a problem in the African-American community. The station should have used this as an opportunity to try to go into the community and try to help the community. That's what they should have done.
Well, look, you know, I don't even know how to respond to it. People say racist things nowadays all the time, and then they turn around and say, I don't want to be politically incorrect. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of her being in the public space, and I'm tired of the fact that people like that continue.
Her being the anchor.
Yeah,
okay.
and continue to basically, you know, malign certain communities by using their public stature.
Was there a way to save her job?
But I think people are still, I know people are tired of hearing the facts, but these are the facts. We are 13% of the population, but commit 50% of the crimes. No one wants to touch that subject. Black Lives Matter has been reinvigorated, right? No one touches that subject when you look at the website and other issues for Black Lives Matter.
Was there a way to save her job?
Look,
this is an Emmy award-winning journalist.
Well, just because she
and 18 years with the station.
Look, she can be in there for 20 years and she can win far more awards. But what you're saying is offensive, and the people that watch the show don't want to watch her anymore. But I think a lot of people talk about the crimes in the community, but there's an understanding of poverty and cycle of poverty that's been there for generations. So it's not that nobody talks about it. Lots of people talk about it in a thoughtful, meaningful way that looks for solution rather than pointing just to race. There are some substantive issues of poverty that cause crime in these communities, and we have to deal with those issues and help people move out and move up, not necessarily always point the finger in the color of their skin.
But I disagree with that, because whenever you do bring up the facts that this is happening in the African American community, then you hear, oh, just like he said, well, you're being racist if you're saying that this is a problem for African Americans.
But couldn't she have started that conversation without saying that the profile here is because there are multiple dads?
Well, that's what I said earlier. I specifically said twice that she should have stuck to the facts, and then the fact that she started talking about multiple baby daddies, that's where she lost her credibility.
We're going to have to leave it right there, but there's a reason why we do an opinion piece, Donnelly, is we'll never be fired because we're just giving our opinion.
And we love to hear your opinion. Thanks, guys. We'll